All right, on to 100 Thieves. So, players out, none. They did not replace anyone this season. They returned their full championship roster, which makes sense. They are the defending champions. They had a really good year. They did, however, promote Tenacity. Their weakest spot was top lane. Someday struggled at times, but was also great at times. He had some incredible performances at Worlds, actually. So, but bringing in Tenacity is a really good decision. This is someone that looked incredible in Academy. They sent him over with the team to Europe as their substitute, and he went off in solo queue. Like, he was insane in EU West. So, looking at that, it's a really good decision for 100 Thieves to at least bring him up. I'm sure he'll get some playing time in Lockin, and just depending on that, they'll see where they go from there. Key questions: who's your top laner? This is really big. So, is it Someday? Is it Tenacity? Someday struggled at times. Tenacity's young. He's got a lot of potential, a very high ceiling. Honestly, I have no idea who they go with. But I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the summer split, at the end of the spring split, you see 100 Thieves move on from Someday, send him away to another team. Because they might just roll with Tenacity. He doesn't take up an import slot, which neither does Someday. But he's young, he's an NA talent, and he's probably not going to cost you as much as Someday does. So, who knows? But I think that's a really important question for them. Number 2, can they maintain their play from summer with the new competition? The LCS, without a doubt, has gotten a lot better in terms of the level of competition in the league. The talent has just gone way up. Even for bottom teams, like, you look at a team like Dignitas, they literally brought in a top PCS jungler. Like come on. And they're the worst ranked team, right? And the rest of their team's terrible, like, don't get me wrong. But the fact that they brought in that guy and everyone thinks they're complete trash. Last year, that Dignitas roster is maybe 5th. Sorry, not 5th. Maybe 7th or 6th, right? But in this LCS, they're 10th, right? FlyQuest is another one. That FlyQuest roster last year is 5th or 6th. This year, they're probably 9th. So, just looking at that, how well are they going to play? What are they going to look like? And honestly, I don't know. I really don't. They could be the best team in the league again. They could be as low as 5th. I don't know. It's dependent on a lot of things. We'll see. If I had to guess, I'll have my predictions in a second, and we'll guess there. Will Reaper have a slump? And you know what? This question is incorrect, because it's not will Reaper have a slump. It's when will Reaper have a slump. It is consistent throughout Reaper's coaching career. In every team he's ever coached, at some point he has a slump. The question is, how long will the slump last? And when will he have it? For Cloud9, he went undefeated through that entire spring split, and then he was undefeated through half of the summer split, and then they just sucked for the rest of the season into the playoffs, like a massive slump. And it's just a, it's a, and 100 Thieves had this last year too in summer. They started off red hot, they were really good, and then the slump hit, and they weren't good for like 2 weeks, and then they brought it back and they won the championship. It's just a question of when it happens and how long it will last. But other than that, Reaper's an incredible coach. Probably one of the best in the league. He's incredibly innovative, and definitely up there for best coaching staff, with EG and possibly Cloud9, but who the hell knows with them. All right, predictions for this team. I think they're first in Lockin. I already said it in the last video. By far, they're keeping their same roster. They have the synergy. There's no reason this team shouldn't be first. For spring, I predict them second or third. I don't think they'll win. I think TL will win, and I think EG is possibly a better team than them. But it depends, right? Like, I don't see them going lower than maybe fourth, depending on how good Cloud9 is. But, who knows?